So there's the old ticket office. So we're down here in the first room, and he's going to show us a little feature that I didn't notice.
This is a swing out bridge. Allows us to have tracks in the work area, and so we could run trains for the work area to cross the swing out bridge, connect in over here, and then run it onto the main line.
Do you want to swing it? Can you swing it?
I'm sorry?
Can you swing it out?
Can I swing it out? Sure.
That is great. Oh, look, they had to carve a little thing.
This pops off.
Here. Oh, okay, it's a separate piece.
Once you actually put this here, it then powers on the track over here. Normally that section is powered off, so no train accidentally goes and runs into the
block.
Into the block, or falls off the
into the mechanics. Into the mechanic room.
How it just goes into the wall, like it goes into some fantasy land where a train is magically coming from.
No, I'll show you where it goes. It actually goes into a yard.
Oh, cool.
Come on in.
And this way? Cool.
It's now a multi-purpose room. Starting with over here on the left, our library. We have quite a big library of railroad books for historical purposes, as well as to be technically accurate when people want to make something that an old engine or modify an engine to make it more realistic.
Here's where it comes in from the swing out bridge, and this is their repair yard, or the bone yard as I used to call it when I was young. It actually comes around for storage.
Now,
and I got the storage yard over here.
This section over here is where we can program the engines. All our engines have onboard, they're called decoders. They're basically specialized computers. So they can be controlled by remote control from your smartphone or from a remote control unit.
Technology, huh?
A handheld unit that would look like this, and they have fancier ones now.
Huh.
Let me show you that.
And so you can change the speed
It
and,
won't pull
and
the focus.
sound the sounds and turn the lights on and off.
Let me try this side.
There it is.
There we go.
So you got all kinds of tools.
Remote controller. Look at that.
Okay, so we could, this is where we use with the computer, it's our office computer, but in addition, it also it allows us to program the engines. Okay, further down over here is our repair area, where we repair rail cars and engines. And so we have a lot of spare parts for them, and we do a lot of our own repair work.
Very organized.
Yeah.
And there's my ugly mug.
Little lantern up there.
Over here is where we do, have basically general maintenance. It could be anything from building maintenance, small things, to a little more heavier maintenance than the fine maintenance work that we do over there on the cars or engines.
Awesome.
This is a computer-controlled telegraph system that allows us to have people practice. And basically, they can key in the letters that are given to them, and it's told to them what letter they have to put in and what the code is for that letter. So the dashes are long, and the dots are short. The telegraph was first invented in 1847 by Samuel Morse, when he sent a message to between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, Maryland, and the message he sent was, "What hath God wrought?"
What was the message he sent?
What hath God wrought? So he set up, so if you make a mistake, then it automatically prompts you to keep trying again until you get it right. We have found that kids as young as 5 years old, within a couple of seconds, can learn how to use it.
Oh my gosh.
That's how simple this is.
That's great. And there you go, guys.
A real telegrapher could do 40 words in 1 minute, which is about a word every second and a half.
A word, not a letter.
Yeah, a word, not a letter.
That is insane.
This building was built in 1902. It was the second depot. The original depot was moved across the tracks and across 7th Avenue, and it became the freight station and eventually burned down. There's another building directly across the street that you can barely see called Star Dre. and that actually preceded this building. So that's from the 1800s.
Wow.
That was where a person would bring their horse and buggy in, have it weighed, they would load their produce on board the train, have it weighed, then they would have it weighed again, so they would know what's called the tear weight, which is the net weight of the product.
Looks like they got a larger scale model out here. Once again, for members only. This one's able to be out in the rain. They got that rainproof box for the controls. You got some of it underneath the awning, but I guess you can get it wet. So this is fantastic. They've turned this into a model railroad club for train enthusiasts. We've got some cars out on the rail tracks here too, and it looks like they've got a restored caboose outside there. So we're gonna go out front, film the front of the building, and we'll take you inside that caboose as well. Beautiful building, beautiful old train station. Historic museum and members only railroad model club, which is fantastic. And they got this restored caboose, and we'll go in there.
This caboose was originally built as a wooden boxcar with metal framing, and it was converted to a caboose in 1937 and remodeled numerous times.
Awesome. Well, let's go inside.
One of the last cabooses that was finally remodeled by the Haynes Yards in South Carolina.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's a southern caboose. This thing was painted by the club for the city. It's a city-owned caboose.
Okay,
Painted by the club last year. It cost us $10,000.
nice. Take us in. Take us inside. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to see the inside of this bad boy. Look at this porthole window.
A little warm in here.
Oh yeah, very.
Look at that.
Wow.
Fresh water tank.
And steel car. Now this
Look
would
at
be
that.
where the conductor and the brakeman would live. And so they actually could sleep on board here. They had a nice chest to keep things cool. They had a wastewater holding tank along with a toilet. They had places to sleep and a heater to get warm during the winter, and a water tank behind you up there.
Yeah.
Oh, up there.
So it can be a sitting couch or lay it down.
Now this
Has been redone though
this is
since
a
they lived in
side,
it.
Caboose. It has they would look out the side to look down the length of the train, versus the ones that had the cupola on top. You'd look over the train.
Oh.
Gotcha. So I'm going to show what it was like to look out the side. You can see from the outside. See that? You can look out that
Now,
way.
one of the jobs
also
the
look
conductor had to do was to keep an eye on
behind.
the train because the engineer could not see his own train. And if a bearing got too hot on one of the wheels, it could it would start turning red and it could cause a fire, either on the train or on the things along the side of the road. You know, like weeds.
It's the old
et cetera.
radio.
Start brush fire.
It's on a brush fire, yes. And so the conductor's job was one of the jobs. Was
Pause to
watch.
read.
And if they saw a problem, they would signal the engineer up the front. Now, eventually you got radios, okay, because they got electricity, and they got electricity by putting a generator attached to the wheels. So outside of this thing, so that was one of the later modifications. And then they could actually have electricity, so they had some light bulbs inside there.
But they still use this for heat and
Yes,
for
that
cooking
heat
as
and
well.
cooking. So they can heat their water and
That's crazy.
make coffee, etc.
It's a huge iron stove.
And
It's
they-
wrought iron.
Coal. There's the coal
And
bin.
the coal bin for, oh my gosh. And what would they put in there? Is that just miscellaneous storage?
Coal bin.
No, the one in the corner.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
that
is the
was
battery
just-
box, I guess.
Yeah, this is the battery box. They had batteries for a while,
Huh.
you know, and then when they had the generator, could charge the batteries.
Wow.
And it is hot in here, folks. This is
Yeah.
all metal on the inside.
Yeah, it's about 100.
So we're sweating right now. Here's the conductor's desk.
I don't know if you'll need this.
Eventually, Cabooses had solar panels. Some had solar panels on top.
Really?
Yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know. It was probably in the 90s,
Okay.
80s.
Okay.
They mostly got rid of Cabooses.
We've noticed that. They just run engines backwards on the back of trains, it looks like a lot now.
Yeah, well, what they do now, Caboose, is to put a sensor that senses the air pressure, because if you lose air pressure, then the brakes would lock on the cars. And so it's one of the things is the conductor had a gauge up here that he would watch for the air pressure. And if it dropped, then he would tell the engineer to stop. They had to figure out what the problem was. Eventually, as I mentioned, they just simply put a sensor on the back that sent a signal to the engineer, and they got rid of most of the cabooses, and therefore the people that were on the caboose, because they decided they didn't need them.
So the wastewater holding tank, was this whole setup from the very beginning like an RV? Like they had a toilet, they had a holding tank, and they just
That was
drained
probably
it?
not original, no.
But
eventually it will be.
from the beginning, they did have some sort of holding tank and a commode, and you could...
No.
No.
Yeah.
I remember passenger trains where if you were a passenger on the train, what your toilet had was a hole straight onto the ground.
And it just emptied directly onto the tracks as you went.
Empty directly onto the track.
So the railroad tracks are covered in human excrement. As
And
people
that's right. And they would make
ask
an
these
announcement
questions.
on board the train when they were going to pull into a station, and they would lock all the restrooms.
So people get off and use the bathroom.
So people didn't use the restrooms while they were in the station.
Oh, so they can pull away and leave piles of human excrement.
That's right.
Hey, John, thank you very much for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
And let the audience know if they like our channel to hit the like button, hit the share, and subscribe.
Take care.
Austin, here.
I have to ask these logistics questions because we'll watch like these space movies and I'm like, like Apollo 13 and stuff. And I'm like,
Beautiful area, Hendersonville, South Carolina. Nice little railroad track path going along here for walking and all that good stuff. So there you go, folks. If you like our videos, please subscribe and hit that like button. If you want to get a hold of the folks here that run the club, there it is, avmrc.com.